Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 20th of October 2022. So stocks, bonds and Bitcoin dump as black gold and the dollar jumps, and the credit markets are really starting to crack. As I mentioned that yesterday, that problems in the credit markets. US stocks declined amid global inflationary headwinds. More on that in just a moment. Stocks Pare recent gains as global inflation lingers and yields rise. And speaking of inflation, yesterday morning, inflation rose to 10.1% as the economy reels from mini-budget chaos. Absolute BS, isn't it, that bit? Economy reels from mini-budget chaos. I think it's probably the QE more so than that. Largest hike in food prices in over 40 years drives inflation back to double digits as economy reels from mini-budget chaos. Again, this the language, isn't it? It's so inflammatory. Reels from, as if it'd fallen off a cliff for, temporarily, 3 hours while the pound goes down to 103 and then rallies back 800 points. Anyway, what economic surprises have we got today? Let's have a look. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index is the only high impact news item. We've got a couple of Fed members out speaking, and there's not a lot. Actually, there's 3 Fed members, isn't there? At 1:30, we've got Jefferson, Cook, and Bowman. Never heard of them. That's why they're low impact ones. So not a lot today. Got leading home sales for the US as well. These times, let me just refresh this. I don't know why it doesn't hold it until I refresh, but there you go. So that's the times today for the news. It's 1:30 onwards, of course, for the US news. And gold-silver ratio just sideways at the moment. So let's have a look at the markets from yesterday. Let's kick off with the stock markets and the Dow. So yesterday we see the Dow moving to the upside. It hit that 50-bar moving average, and it's in between the 78 and 89. Moved down to the 5-bar moving average overnight, which you can see there, and has bounced off it just as it did in this area here. So we're heading back to the upside at the moment, and towards the 50 EMA, and then the 89% retracement there. In the 30-minute chart yesterday, we started moving to the upside. We had a bit of a blast, and then we sold off, as you can see there. And then overnight the market has moved higher after becoming oversold. We had an 89% retracement, and heading up through the DP at the moment, just coming off the high of the morning. I don't know why the market's moving up with such momentum, given that at the time of recording it's only 6:30. But coming off the high a bit there. Let's just have a look in the 1 minute, see what's going on. So we've had a bit of a move there. We spiked up at 5:15, and we've just had another run up at 6 a.m. and now we're coming off there. So it'll be interesting to see why the market's doing that. We moved up 200 points within the last hour. Let's have a look at the DAX, see if that's doing the same. And in the German DAX daily chart, we're already at 62% retracement of the major swing back. A bit of supply there, but as the Dow, the DAX is also moving off the 5-bar moving average at the moment. 30-minute chart, you can see coming off the low. Well, there's no surprise there, is there? Down at the low, retracement coming off. Anything to get the market off the previous day low is always going to be the goal of the traders, to try and bounce it, and they've done that there. The DP could be a bit of a problem for the market, but at the moment this too coming off the high. Let's have a look at the 5-minute chart of this. Let's just go to where we're currently trading, and again you can see how we've moved up 50 points and then 100 points to complete this move. So 100 points up in 2 phases of 50. At the moment, the market sideways. Yesterday, just scroll back, we started off with the market selling off quite sharply all the way down to the S1 before it found support, and then through the morning it just traded in a range. We went down again with the Dow, and then we bounced back with the Dow as well. So trades for the week. This is Monday, only 70.02. a profit factor of 3.18. Then on Tuesday I actually was down. I gave back all of the profit, but yesterday we turned things around. I moved back to the upside, 362.67, profit factor of 36, with 70% winners yesterday. And then for the whole of the week, Monday to Wednesday so far, 410, 3.24 profit factor there, and 62.38 there on the win-loss ratio. So managed to get into a rhythm yesterday, which was missing during Tuesday's session, which is why you saw the profits being taken back from the previous day. Like I say, long term, it doesn't really matter. Trade for the long term. One day doesn't make any difference. You just keep plodding along and take the probabilities, and it always pays off. Make sure that the winners are bigger than the losers. That's the key. And if that's what you do, then you're going to end up making consistent profits. In the S&P, we can see this too is bouncing off the 5 and the 20 bar moving average at the moment. Failure to hold in any of these stock markets will have these downside targets, because we've had the move up like just as we did there, and then resumption to the downside as well. So keep that in mind for all of the other stock markets as well. Yesterday's S&P, this is the pre-market session, moving lower. You can see when it opens, because it's a lot more up and down, and eventually gave way to the downside, found support at the 200 MA with demand oversold, and then traded sideways to the close. It broke this overnight, came down to the low just as the DAX did. Inside of here you've got an 89% retracement with momentum shifting to the upside, and then moving back to the 50 EMA at the moment. Meanwhile, in the UK, as the turmoil continues, the market's holding up well. You can see that this too bouncing off yesterday's 5-bar moving average and overnight, even though it traded below. But just in case the market doesn't hold today, on the downside you've got these areas of potential support should the market break that 5-bar moving average and the overnight low as well. And in the currencies, GBP JPY also coming off the 5-bar moving average overnight, despite a couple of days of supply coming into the market. 30-minute charts also showing a bit of weakness yesterday, trading up to the DP and then moving lower to the 200 MA, and the market's sat on this and the close overnight, but then just spiked higher along with the stock markets there. The pound is starting to look weakish again, and we've got to close below the 5-bar moving average. Let me just draw in some fibs on the downside on this one. At the moment we're just through the 38, we're finding support at 50% retracement there. Notice that the 62% retracement ties in with the 20-bar moving average there. In the 30-minute chart, yesterday we see prices moving lower, trading down to the low, and then finding support before it's taken out, which you'll see here. We came back, took it out, and then moved lower, and we've just been in a sideways range at yesterday's close with that spike that we've seen in all markets in the early hours. And finally, in the metals, the silver market holding at 89% retracement at the moment. Momentum starting to move back to the upside. The 30-minute charts very quiet yesterday, as can be seen. Not much of a range. Again, sell-off early on this morning. It's definitely something going on in Asia. 2 a.m. we see a sell-off, and then we've seen a bounce and recovery back up to the DP, all within the overnight trading session there. I suspect that's the same for gold. Yep, we went through the 89% retracement overnight in the daily chart and bounced back. But yesterday we saw the market trying to come back above Tuesday's low. The market failed, took out the S2, traded sideways, then overnight the market's been sideways once more. Shakeout at 2 a.m. and then the buyback up to towards the DP and the 50 EMA. Got a bit of supply there at the moment though, somebody selling into that at the time of recording. And finally the US dollar up yesterday, putting downside pressure in the metals and the other currencies, GBP, JPY and the cable. And if we look at the 30-minute chart, you can see this moving strongly to the upside, finding support at the 200 MA in the 30-minute chart, and then moving up to the high overnight, where we've had a bit of a sell-off of the dollar, which obviously has spiked the stock markets, and the GBP and JPY and cable, as can be seen there. But at the moment, it's finding a bit of support at the close of yesterday. Okay, that's it for this one. Let's see what the markets have in store today. And with that, as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.